show for everything along the topics of human health, aging, regeneration, repair, and rejuvenation. I'm your host, Ira Pastor, Chief Executive Officer of Bioquark Incorporated, also a member of the World Economic Forum's Future Council on Healthy Longevity and Human Enhancement, as well as an advisor to the Regenerage organization of companies, the Reanima Project, and the World Academy of Medical Sciences. Today's episode is entitled, What are Age and What is Aging? And will mark the beginning of a set of tutorials on these and other related themes for the general public, as there's been quite a bit of confusion on these topics in recent years, especially with the major surge in activity on the biomedical longevity front. So let's get started, have some fun with it, and make some complex topics much easier for you to wrap your head around and open your eyes to some of the amazing future possibilities for the human condition. So let's begin with a basic question. What is age? And we'll start out with a very basic definition. Age is broadly defined as how old you are. But strangely enough, humans don't just have one age. Technically, we have three of them. And these are chronological age, psychological age, and biological age. And we'll go into each of these in detail. Your chronologic age is a general time measurement of how long you've existed, from the moment you were created in your mother's womb to this very second in time. Pretty simple. Your psychologic age, or your mental age as some people refer to it, is a measure of how young you feel mentally. And this is a topic that we'll get into in future shows as we delve into a lot of the new scientific literature that discusses the increasing amount of evidence on how our thoughts can impact downstream physical and chemical manifestations in our many other organ systems, including at the level of our tissues, cells, and even that of our DNA. Lastly, and which is the topic that we'll be focusing on mainly today, is that of your biologic age, which represents a physiological measure of four key parameters responsible for your overall health, wellness, and vitality, and predictors of your potential descent into disease and regeneration. These four parameters include fitness, fertility, robustness, and resilience, or the two F's and two R's as we refer to them in-house. And we'll go into each of these in detail. So the first one of these is fitness, which is, once again, broadly defined as your general ability to survive in good health. In this category, you're going to think about things like low levels of cardiovascular plaques in your arteries, low blood pressure, appropriate levels of beneficial hormones and enzymes in your various organ systems, the avoidance of various environmental toxins, pollutants, radiation sources, and so forth. The second factor that makes a biological age, as mentioned, is fertility, which again, broadly defined, is your ability to reproduce and produce offspring. Pretty straightforward as well. The third factor that makes up your biologic age is known as robustness. And this is defined as your ability to prevent negative stimuli from impacting your health in the first place. In this category, I want you to think about your body's ability, for instance, to guard against negative genetic or epigenetic damage events that may cause cancer mutations, or the subsequent elimination of unfit cells in certain tissues throughout your body. The fourth category that makes up biologic age is known as resilience. And this is broadly defined as your ability to bounce back from negative events after they occur. In this category, think about your ability to recover, say, from a viral infection, or, for instance, your liver's ability to naturally regenerate itself after acute damage. Fitness, fertility, robustness, and resilience altogether define your biologic age. Now, with all that defined, let's segue into what aging is, and again start with a very simple definition. Aging is broadly defined as the process of becoming older. More specifically to the theme of this show, and to the biologic age definition I just talked about, it represents the changes over time to your fitness, fertility, robustness, and resilience. And while the topic of aging may be depressing or scary to many, and something that many people just want to put out of their minds as an inevitability, it's very important to bring up a misconception at this time, which is crucial as we move into future episodes to discuss the causes of biologic aging and ultimately some of the state-of-the-art biologic interventions for controlling aging. And that fact is this: not all aging represents a negative biologic event. I'm going to repeat that. Not all aging represents a negative biologic event for you. A huge misconception that has made its way around the research community in recent years is that aging and the diseases associated with aging are the same thing. They are not. It's very important to realize that for the first third of your life, from the time that you're conceived in your mother's womb through your development, your birth, growth, maturation into young adulthood, your fitness, fertility, robustness, and resilience are all increasing, even though you're technically aging and are exposed to all of the external and internal events, from gene mutations to physical damage to external toxins, infection, and so forth. Some to a much greater degree, which later on in life are known to accelerate our disease, degeneration, and death. Why is all this important? It's very important because it shows that there are a series of mechanisms in place in early life that, in essence, represent powerful control networks of biologic aging processes, which evolution has molded for our benefit in early life, and if we're smart, can be tapped in for our benefit in later life. And while most of the biomedical longevity community focuses on studying and interfering with the pathological disease and damage events that are occurring in your later life, and just trying to keep up with them, mopping them up along the way, paradoxically, many of the clues and solutions to controlling later life aging in a more comprehensive fashion may actually be found at the very beginning of your life. So in our next episodes, following this set of themes, we'll go deeper into what are the true causes of biologic aging, and ultimately how we can utilize the knowledge we just spoke of to our advantage in counteracting them for the reversal of disease, degeneration, and yes, even the reversal of biologic age. One last thing. On each episode of this show, we are going to give you, the audience, a little non-mandatory homework. A little reading for anyone who wants to go a bit deeper into the various themes that we'll be touching over the coming weeks. Once again, this is completely non-mandatory. And the paper we're going to suggest on today's show is entitled Regeneration: The Origin of Cancer or a Possible Cure by Dr. Nestor Oviedo, University of California. And everyone can look these papers up on National Institutes of Health PubMed database. They're completely free. And this paper is fascinating, as we begin to explore the true causes of disease and aging, because it gives fascinating insight into the natural control mechanisms that humans have for such conditions, but which, unlike other organisms, we have not yet taken advantage of for controlling and monitoring and modulating human health and wellness. So once again, thank you very much for joining me today on this inaugural episode. Once again, I'm Ira Pastor, your host of the Regenerage Show. If you like what you hear on the show, please subscribe to this channel, as well as, of course, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and many other areas of social media. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, and best wishes in life and health.